Hey there, what do you say there, world? Welcome to the Racers Recap. I am one of your hosts, Justin, aka at Justin Classic One.
I'm your other host, Lady Classic, aka Lady Classic.
This is Diana.
That's me.
Or Diana.
Diana.
James Earl won't be joining us this week because he knows that Stefan and Antoine cannot be defended this week. So he does not want to feel my wrath of the Stefan and Antoine show. I don't know why I even had this in. We can't hear anything. Right?
Oh yeah, they were telling each other. Sure.
But I mean, if we put it in here. So how was? What did you think overall of the episodes? We missed a couple weeks. You want to tell everybody why we missed a couple weeks?
We were in Morocco.
There we go.
And Justin wanted to do the show from Morocco. And I'm glad that you didn't promise people you would do a show because the internet was pretty bad.
I had to let the fans down because Diana is a Scrooge.
Sorry, I just like to enjoy myself when I'm on vacation. Anyway, So we were in Morocco and we did not do a show. So
yes.
I'm sorry we missed it.
Sorry about that. And
we're going to miss, in 2 weeks, another show.
Yes, we might have to miss. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. Maybe I could sneak a show in during this trip.
No.
Maybe
It's our honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's our honeymoon. You're not. Fine. If you want to do a show on the honeymoon.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go, like it's May.
No James Earl today, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun. I think after the last time we hung out, it was just me and James Earl, and we got into some heated debates, which I think led to some fun stuff. And I think after he watches this, he'll want to come back, and we'll probably get into some heated debates as well.
I think so.
Because I don't have many good things to say about some of James Earl's teams.
Well, people are saying, hey, crybaby.
Oh, talking to you?
Bring it. Me?
Well, they call
I
me a
cried once on
crybaby.
the show. Twice.
Call me a crybaby.
Twice. I think if we had a cry count, you would definitely lose that.
All right, so we're starting off. We're going to do episode... Actually, hey there. We're doing Amazing Race Canada Season 4, Episodes 3 and 4 recap, back-to-back, firing them away. Feel free to join us in the chat room. If you haven't thumbs up and liked and shared it, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should tell everybody they should get in on some of this. So it was interesting. First couple legs.
I can't wait to talk about episode 4. So.
All right, so let's hurry up and get there. All right, so Calgary is where they're starting episode 3 at. And Jillian and Emmett were first place, and their lead gets them nothing, as this is one of the bunch points of the race. They leave at 1:49 a.m., flying into the Mekong Delta in Vietnam. They have to go to this little village. They get $360, not Canadian. I know, but the U.S. dollars for this leg of the race. And they do show all of the departure times. So the next team to depart after them is at 3:07. So they started at 1:49. Had a nice lead on the second place team, Stefan and Antoine. And the last place team, Kelly and Kate, are leaving at 6:43. But that doesn't matter because they're all on the same plane for a nice little bunch point, which also kind of doesn't matter because once they land, they
have to sign up for.
It's like a
because they
taxi
probably
race
land in the middle
up.
of they probably land at 10 o'clock at night and then race. I was trying to figure that stuff out too, but that's what I figure, that they had landed late and then they had to wait till the sun came out.
Yeah, so it's another bunch point where it didn't say how far apart the teams were, but it didn't look like the teams were that far apart from what happened. The only real drama that happened, like a little airport drama, as if you want to even call it that, doesn't really classify as it, was when Steph and Kristen lied to Stefan and Antoine saying that, they didn't get the express pass.
And they said, too, that they felt bad about it, which shows...
So that makes it okay?
Yeah, that they're showing remorse for it. Yes, especially, I will get back to that, because they also did something else on one of the legs. Okay,
as long as you bring it back up.
Yes.
So it's an all-out race. Everybody's jumps out of customs. They get into this.
Yeah, it was crazy watching the entire rush come out of.
Yeah, they didn't even give him 10-second lead. It was just everybody rushing out at the same time, clearing customs together. And then they all raced to the water taxi sign-up board where they will be leaving at 6 a.m. So it didn't say where they spent the night. Not sure if they spent it outside or not. I didn't look up any of the boards and see what had happened. If
They probably stayed at their pit stop,
well,
like room or hotel probably, and just had it for 2 nights.
That makes sense. So once they get to their water taxi, they get their route info at 6 a.m. Get supplies, drop off some stuff with the dockmaster. Wasn't really difficult. This floating market thing. Okay, so the floating market, they got
He's
this
a little,
shopping list in Vietnamese, which is great setup. Got the shopping list. They got it in Vietnamese. They got 4 items. And then they went and got the taxi driver, and they just showed the taxi driver the list, and the taxi driver took them exactly where they needed to go and get everything. So
yeah, but
kind of took away from the drama.
I gave you examples of when that also happens.
No, you didn't. Because this is the task. The task is finding them. That's it. So when in our race did the cab driver take us to a task, and that was it. The only thing is
you had to collect things. So having a knowledgeable taxi.
Yeah, so when did that happen for us?
In India.
When what?
We had marked taxis after we got off the train when we first got there.
And they took us to tasks, and we killed the tasks, and then got to the next place.
Right,
our Indian taxi driver got lost twice. It wasn't like yes. He got lost on the way to the U-turn.
Is that the first leg in India? The second leg?
I'm just saying, our taxi. But when were we talking about?
He was still helping us. Just because he got lost doesn't mean that our taxi drivers weren't.
I know, but it doesn't relate to this, because this is the only thing is go to this place and get something. And he did it. He had to do that 4 times, and the taxi driver just took him to 4 different places.
I get it. I mean, it makes it easier. That's what we're really upset about here.
Yeah, I mean, if the taxi driver couldn't help them, or they had to go somewhere else to try to figure out what these 4 items were, because I mean, trying to find somebody with a cell phone on one of those things would have been crazy. Like trying to get.
My Chinese ringtone.
Just gonna keep ringing. You can get it. Stefan and Antoine are very smart. They do a good job. They break it down. They break the tasks down, and they see the boats, and they kind of lead the driver, which give them a lot of credit for in this episode. It's Kelly and Kate. They love shopping. They do a good job here with shopping. This was a leg where they felt pretty comfortable, where a lot of other teams felt really out of place, and this is because of culture-wise. This is where their culture helps them, whereas most legs, it's probably going to hinder them. And here, they just felt more comfortable, and it showed because they shined in these 2
Kelly and Kate
legs. Yes, Kelly and Kate.
Yeah, Michael Jenks asked, why what about Kelly and Kate make them such a strong team? And I don't know that they're necessarily a strong
nothing makes
team.
them such a strong team.
I think they just got lucky in these 2 legs were tailored for.
Yeah, this is when everybody else was uncomfortable with the culture and the language barrier, and they're not. And that showed with everything that's going on here. And we'll get to it. I don't think they're a very strong team. I think they're
right now, I think they're okay.
They shot their wad like they have. No, it's like a bullet. It's wad. It's from a gun. Stop it.
Don't say that.
It's old school when they have to reload. It takes forever.
Again.
Well, anyway, I think that they've done tasks that highlight their strengths, and then now they're going to be left wanting.
I'm sorry. My screen has us, and it's on a delay, so I just watched my reaction to you saying that.
Just pause this here and just use the thing. It's so funny. All right. All right, so this is when we start to see Steph and Kristen first time struggling with their taxi driver. So their water taxi guy had no clue, and then it really showed because he took them to a place that was somebody's house, and they wound up going into somebody's house. Then he took them to a place that was wrong. So the third place he took them was the first time that they could do something right. So having the wrong taxi driver there only hurt them. Everybody else didn't seem to have any problem besides them. Kelly and Kate leave in first place with the route info. Take the ferry and search for your next clue.
I don't know how so many teams missed this one.
There was
3 lines on the clue.
The clue had 3 lines, and
it was probably like 1 sentence actually with 3 lines.
And it said, "Take the ferry to this terminal and find this place." That's all it said. take the ferry
Even if they
and find the place.
even if they took the water taxi to a location, like when do you realize, oh goodness,
We didn't
haven't
take a
taken
ferry.
Yeah.
It says take the ferry and find a place. That's all it says. If you can't find that, you don't even deserve to be on the damn race. Read the clue. It's not like it's one of the long clues.
A sentence.
And 4 teams. Follow the pack mentality is all that happened. One team do it. Oh, I got to hurry up, and I just follow the pack mentality. And those are teams that you know are not going to win.
Yeah. Somebody said major duh.
Oh.
Face palm. Like
There's no way any one of those 4 teams are going to win because it's follow the pack mentality.
Michael Jenks is saying it's only the 4th season for them. For them, like who? The Amazing Race.
We had Amazing Race American Edition has been airing up there for years as well. And before it got famous there, was famous here. That's why they brought it there. There's no excuses. There's plenty of ways to watch 27, 28 seasons online.
I did like some of their editing though.
Oh, the editing was
when
good.
They were like all ripping the clues and you heard.
I like that. And
That was cool.
There was one thing where they had the names across the screen, and then they had somebody walking by, and then the names disappeared like that. I like that simple editing. I like those little things. But I'm going to point out a lot of the things that other people just don't seem to be pointing out for some reason. All right, so we're going through these floating markets. Stefan Kristen struggling. Kelly and Kate are beasting it. Stefan Antoine beasting it. And then we're heading to take the ferry. Kelly and Kate have no problem. Jump on the first ferry. Stefan and Antoine right behind them catch the same ferry. And then this is when this little second pack of people who get to this task, and they all jump back into the water taxis, and it irks me. So, and this is when one of the times when Emmett was ignoring Jillian, and he should have paid attention, because Jillian yells out, can we take a water taxi? And Emmett is like, yes, we can take the
He's like, and then she's like, are you sure?
Are you sure? It's like, yes. And
yeah, that's a silly mistake.
And so she asked him to make sure. It's one of the times he should have listened, then he didn't listen. But so they get on. Rita and Yvette get on a water taxi. Ann and Tanya get on a water taxi. Ashley and Joel get on a water taxi. So that whole group of 4 are all on the water taxi heading for a 30-minute penalty. Let's get to this 30-minute penalty real quick. Do you think it's fair, like how ours was a 30-minute penalty plus the time gained? Like they didn't take the water. They took water taxis. That has to be faster than the ferry. They didn't get taxed for time gained.
Well, I would obviously not like to be taxed for the time gained.
No, I'm just pointing it out and just wondering if there's anybody in the chat room understands why, if anybody knows why. I know it's American edition, but Canadian edition. Would it really matter?
Like, since
it would have mattered for 2 or 3 of them as far as placement.
They all did the same thing. I'm sure the time gained isn't that different. But
they gained against everybody else, but ultimately it didn't matter because
a lot of people are saying, it should be 30 plus time gained.
Stefan and Antoine.
Probably American rules versus Canadian rules.
All right, so Steph and Kristen realize they jump in their water taxi. This is where, okay, I'll give you credit, Steph and Kristen. They jump in their water taxi, and then they read the clue again, and they're like, uh-oh, go back. We got to catch the ferry. So they go and they go back and catch the ferry. I wonder how much time they lost going back, getting in the taxi, going there, and then going back, and then waiting for the ferry, and then getting on the ferry, and if it was longer than a half hour. Because if it was longer than a half hour, it didn't make sense for them to go and follow the rules. Right?
Yeah.
So I would want to know the answer to that question. All right, so this heads to the roadblock. Who has all their ducks in a row?
I would have done this.
Yeah, I think either one of us
wouldn't have mattered.
Wouldn't have had a problem doing this one. But all right, I have a problem. I want James Earl to be here for this, so he can defend Stefan and Antoine, because I know he likes them. And
it's all right. We got the chat room to take over James Earl's.
All right, let's do it. The roadblock. Who has all the ducks in a row? Heard 20 ducks. All right. Now, it sounds hard, but it's not hard because there's 300 ducks in a group, and you only have to get 20 of them. It's not like you have this little group of 20, and you have to get this specific group of 20 in your specific pen. Just any 20 of the 300.
Please, I don't. Can we just get to the end
Stefan?
of it. Yeah, like
Okay.
everybody does it successfully.
All right, so
Some people
Stefan.
bigger than others. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Okay, so Stefan is terrible. He has no strategy at all. Watching him,
I don't even think you need strategy.
I know, but I'm just saying. Some people, because so he's old, he couldn't do it. But I don't want to hear that. He didn't have any strategy. Then he helps Ashley get all 20 of hers in her pen. Then he helps Rita get some of hers in his pen.
He's helping them. He's not purposely helping them. I don't think he knows what pen is his.
But he was like working with them. He was like, they were holding one side, he was holding the other, and they were pushing him into a pen. It's terrible. And then he gets 18 into his pen and doesn't close it after all that work. You think the first thing he would do would be close it and secure it. It's all the hard work. But no, 18 are in, and then 9 leave, and he's heartbroken after that. And the first thing that his kid says, what do you want to do, take a penalty? Did you just put that in his head that you would even be okay with him possibly taking a penalty?
This is after he said, we've been here for 2 hours. 2 hours to wrangle up ducks.
Which they've done on other seasons.
And the fact
And they had to take him through this 3 gates first, these 3 like areas into a pen. They had to do this, and they did it. And
people are saying, yeah, it was a hot day. I mean, come on.
it was hot.
It was hot. I know. Like, I get that, but
When?
I don't know.
Oh, they're from Canada. They don't get heat up there. I know it's like snowy all year, and you guys love hockey, but you don't get heat.
Well, where was the hottest that we went to?
India.
All right, was India hotter than Morocco? Like,
Morocco was a
imagine
dry
weather in
heat,
Morocco.
but India we were sweating like
Yeah,
dogs.
we were really sweaty in Morocco.
Dogs. Okay. So after all of that, so all right, Antoine, you should have never even put that in his head. I'm upset with you for bringing that up. But then after he said, we've been here for 2 hours, I'm going to try again. He goes and tries a weak ass attempt, and then he's like, all right, I quit. I can't do it.
That's silly.
And then they have to carry 2 of those ducks across to this area and get them next food.
Yeah, Kelly and Kate had a speed bump.
And the speed bump. Okay, the speed bump was that's before the detour. Yeah, it's right after this. So after all this, we head out. The speed bump is there. Bring 20 of these toads across the market to a vendor. And Josh and Tanner are kicking themselves saying, why the hell wasn't this our speed bump? Like we would have done this in one take. They would have just put all the frogs in this shirt and just carried it across and done. That would have been it. A minute and a half tops for Josh and Tanner. But no, they get to do this, and it's a relatively easy speed bump, which was just carrying toads and putting them in from one place across the market to another.
Yeah.
It couldn't have taken longer than 10 minutes.
Oh, no, definitely not.
So weak speed bump attempt, which leads us to the detour of hydrate or vibrate. Now, which one would we have taken? Vibrate, we have to learn that ceremonial drum dance, or hydrate, carry 60 coconuts to a boat, travel downriver, and deliver them.
I would like to do coconuts.
Yeah, I would
I
have.
feel like that's a task that, like, you just power through, you muscle through it, and you get it done.
I would have liked to do the drum, but
I know
it's
you
a
would.
judge task, and a judge task or a beasted task. We would 9 times out of 10 take the beasted task because there's a solid ending, and nobody can tell us the ending is not there. It's just if we fight hard or we're smarter and we get there faster, we can use our intelligence to gain an advantage. So I think that's the one we would take, carry 60 coconuts to a boat and travel downriver. And during that one, Jillian and Emmett couldn't get their stuff together for anything, for loading the coconuts on,
I'm not even going to bother to tell
for
you
taking the coconuts off. But the best part was the editing. While they were loading the coconuts on, you get this quirky, like, cartoon and a boing type of music when they're, like, trying to do things.
You can't, I don't even, I get their edit. I get it's like a brunchal with an Aggie girl and
Oh, it's a
and
total
a
Canadian
tolerable
brunch.
guy. It's a Canadian brunchal. It's like the Haley and Blair edit. I don't know. Maybe a Logan and Chris edit. Like, just,
Yeah, more Logan and Chris than Haley and Blair, I see.
I had seen something that Jillian had posted that just said, like, of course they can find, like, they argued every leg. She said that already. Like, you could probably find enough footage to show us arguing every single leg.
All right, so then it's fair that they show you arguing every leg if you actually argued every leg.
Yeah, but it's different to, like, have those moments of during a task, like, Justin, just do this, and then the rest of the leg's fine, and then you do the next task, and I say 1 or 2 things that sound snooty, and they can put that all together to make it look
Oh, you
like
don't got to tell me. Rotterdam. Terrible edit.
Don't even. You can thank me for a
Terrible.
wedding later. Okay.
Terrible edit.
Thank you for a wedding.
Thanks
later.
for that edit. Whoever edited about it, thanks. All right, so during Vibrate, which was the ceremonial drum dance, seemed to be the easier of the two because the judges, everybody got it on their first or second try. Joel and Ashley beasted it, got it on their first try. Kelly and Kate did a great job, got it on their first try. Rita and Yvette, second try. Stefan and Antoine went there, saw it, and said, hell no, switched. Frankie and Amy went in and got it on their first try. Like, just try it. Everybody's getting on their first or second try. You don't even try it, and then you left. All right. Steph and Chris do the same thing. They go there, see it, and they're like, hell no, and then they leave. And then Ann and Tanya see them leave, and they're like, oh, okay, we're going to go with them, and then they leave. So you either got it on your first or second try, or you left before you tried it
All right,
once.
time out. People are commenting on my facial expressions, and Justin always talks about my facial expressions.
All the time.
When I'm reading something, I've been on the computer a lot.
Should be like this.
On the computer, just to myself. Or I'll have I'm gonna have so many wrinkles because I'm constantly like making faces for no reason. I'll read and I'll go,
And I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong?
I'm like, oh, it's a good part in the book. But I just, people are gonna make a montage. My facial
Oh my
reaction.
gosh. Good luck. There's a lot of them. Just anytime I talk, just watch a face. There's always something that makes it make some sort of
I
face.
can't with this dog.
So Jillian and Emmett can't get their stuff together. Terrible teamwork, but they both are strong individual players, and they seem to make it through. Ann and Tanya almost so Tanya almost passes out because she can't handle her coconuts. And Ann steps up. Major props for Ann. She go beast through.
Dragging coconuts.
She is just nonstop carrying those coconuts for that little girl to beast it
That's
through.
what you have to do, though. I'd be like, all right, Justin, like, you get better. And
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go
Go ahead,
finish
get
this.
better. Get some water. You know, we're
I'm going
hot.
to finish this for us.
You haven't been drinking water. It's obvious. All you needed was to drink water, and then you were fine after you drank some water. Oh, who would have thought when it's hot, drink water? No, I'm not going to get mad at her. But I love that that Ann stepped up and beast moded it. Julie and Lowell did that as well. No problems there. I'm tired of his puns. Are you getting annoyed with his puns?
I like them as a team. I think they have a really good spirit, and they're motivated, and they're sweet together. They have a cute relationship, but yeah, puns. He's not Tyler. Tyler had the puns.
Oh yeah, they were
that
Corey and
was-
Tyler with the one-liners all day. But he's so cheesy. Like, and then he has that big cheesy smile, and you're like, you feel bad. Like, oh, I can't make fun of him. Listen, equal rights. You know, he wants to be treated like everybody else, and I will make fun of him just like I would make fun of anybody else, because that's the way he'd want it to be.
I'm gonna marry you.
Yes. You want me to treat everybody equally, or would you like me to treat people different based on appearance?
Just move on.
All right, the pit stop. Head to the Mekong Lodge, where there is a Tokyo trip for 5 nights waiting for the winners of this leg, who was pretty impressive, and it's because of their awesome drumming in the ceremonial Vibrate detour. Joel and Ashley win first place, but wait, they're penalized 30 minutes. They sit out, and they're still first place. So they earned that, beasting it by more than a 30-minute penalty and still getting their first place. Good job for Joel and Ashley, just stepping into the spotlight for a second to say, hey, listen, we're a stronger team. I think Dad is the kind of clueless, and unless he gets his stuff together, they can't win.
Somebody brought up something good. They
Go
said,
ahead.
do you think it would be allowed that one member could continue the detour while the other one's sitting out?
Yeah,
You think so?
yeah. Why does the other person? It doesn't say that 2 people have to
You
do
do
it.
have to be the 20-foot rule. There is a 20-foot rule.
Well, yeah.
And she was going back and forth doing it.
Not
by
unless,
herself.
not if it was medical though. You don't have to stay with him for 20 feet. It's medical.
Okay, so you're saying there's like a medical clause.
Well, yeah. If she genuinely was like, gonna pass out from exhaustion, they have to. That's fine with that.
Okay.
And if it's the 20-foot rule, then if that's the problem, like, okay, cool. Then you stay in the middle. You walk 10 feet back and forth to stay within 20 feet. But I'm totally okay with one person beasting a challenge.
Somebody's trying to compare it to Frankie eating all the bugs in the next episode, and I said, but that's a route info, not a detour. And a detour is a task that you complete together. The route info, they made it clear, together you finish this, you each have to eat one of these at least.
And if one person on your team can do something faster than two people on another team, they deserve to go ahead as well. So it's not something like you're gaining an advantage. It's, hey, if I'm better than both of you put together, then I deserve the advantage of being able to do it. You know, so I'm totally okay with that. I have no problem with that. Steph and Kristen. Steph and Kristen love staying in this top two or three. They're showing a little cracks, but they fight back. They're strong. They're a solid team. They don't really yell at each other. They're still showing strength that I have no reason to believe they won't be one of the final three at the end. Jillian and Emmett have shown strength and weakness, and to me, they can go out at any week. There's a chance that they can leave, but they can also win every week. So they are really hit or miss 100%. All they need is both of them to have a breakdown at the same time, and it's over.
It's over.
Right now, they're kind of balancing each other out, but at some point, it's gonna get crazy. All right, so Steph and Kristen beat Jillian and Emmett and Kelly and Kate in a foot race for second, third, and fourth. And because of all the penalties, blah, 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 then Rita and Yvette come in, and they have a penalty. So Frankie and Amy pass them for fifth place. Rita and Yvette would be sixth. There's another foot race between I won't get into it too much. So where Lowell is into a foot race, and he runs into a bush.
Yeah.
And then Ann and Tanya beat him there, but then they have a penalty. So...
Yeah, but they don't know they have a penalty.
I know, but so it was just funny. Stefan and Antoine are last, and they deserve to be last because they took a 4-hour penalty.
I have no words.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick them while they're down. They ran a good race. They did a lot better than I expected during a couple legs for sure, but this leg, they deserve to go home.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of a circumstance that I would quit, and it would be like TAR 7, where they had to eat 4 pounds of meat parts. That I would quit.
I can understand that. You just physically can't do that.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, my brain, I can't go down a water slide. I can't go down a water slide that thousands of kids go down.
Other than that, I would be like hay bales, where I would not give up until...
Oh, there's no way you would give up if it was a physical challenge.
No, not even just the physical.
Because that's all hay bales was. It was just physical. Like, you would never do
I think just quitting, period. I just think I'd rather be there for 6 hours than have taken the 4-hour penalty and quit.
Yeah.
Like, I would go out knowing that, like, I gave this my everything, and I'm going home because
so you
of
could
that.
say, after 2 hours, if I take a penalty now, that's like me staying here for 6 hours and doing it, and you're like, there's no way I can do this for 6 hours and not get it. Yeah, so in your head, there's just no way. Even if I take an hour break to take a nap, like leave me alone, I'm taking a nap, I'll get up with an hour fresh nap and finish the task before 4 hours.
Yeah.
So take a nap, drink water, sit there the whole time. Just don't quit.
It's not.
And it's just the TAR Canada, just in general, like, stop with the quitting and not doing the tasks and taking the penalties. Just stop it. Like, stop. If you're going to go on the show and quit, don't go.
A lot of people are saying that they agree that they'd never do it. It's stupid, but it's common. And that's the sad part, is it's common. And
so Superfan Move of the Episode. Superfan Move of the Episode for me, I'm actually going to give it to Ann for stepping up when her partner falls and she's out of it. And not sitting there and being like, it's okay, you know what, you gave it your all, we're going home. She's like, I'm beasting it.
Yeah,
if you get your stuff together,
right.
We'll be ready to go when you go. And I think that's another way of motivating. She didn't have the Tiffany pep talk. She had the actions speak louder than words type of mentality. So I'm giving it to Ann for beasting the coconuts.
Yeah, a lot of people are upset about the penalties, that's what they're most upset about. And it's like you want to see people complete tasks, not just be like, oh, I can't do this, I quit.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, how would you even try to get on a show?
A lot of people are saying it's not keeping the integrity of the race. Yeah, like, how can you win and say, I won the amazing race if you had quit something and lucky enough
I quit half the challenges, but I won.
But I won because everyone else quit. That's funny.
So, who is going to be put in check? Diana.
I'm just going to say Jillian. Jillian, if you're watching, I'm flattered if you're watching. But if you are watching, though, it's not personal. I know all about the edits and the Frankenbiting. They're showing Emmett just look just so nice and kind. And I'm sure that...
Oh, he's ignoring her. They show him blatantly ignoring her.
Well, yeah, they show him doing that. Is he really? Or is he really giving her a piece of his mind? And they're just showing him mum and quiet. So... You're just getting it because I got to give it to somebody.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 3. We're going to kick right off into episode number 4.
Can we just jump to the fun parts?
All right, let's jump to the fun parts. They take a bus from Ho Chi Minh City, and there's not really a bunch point with here, so I like that part. So Steph and Kristen, and Joel and Ashley and Kelly and Kate are all on the first bus. And the second bus has Jillian and Emmett, and Frankie and Amy miss it by seconds. Now, those seconds, literally seconds, like 10, 15 seconds, they probably could have been made up somewhere where they were dilly-dallying or doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. And just being a little intense how Jillian and Emmett play, I think that makes the difference.
I think you would have... What are you talking about?
When Jillian and Emmett are on the bus leaving and Frankie and Amy are right there.
You would have dropped your bag and sprinted screaming
and grabbed the bumper of the bus. Yes. Like, you're not leaving.
Yes.
There's no... Well, we wouldn't even been in that position. We wouldn't even been in that position. We would have been at that damn bus before it took off. But, yeah, so that's just the mindset there. And then on the next bus, Frankie and Amy take it with Yvette, Rita, Julie, and Lowell. And then on the last bus all by themselves, Ann and Tanya. So right from the beginning, this is kind of like an Enoch and Jin episode where they're kind of far behind and you get the idea that they're going home the whole time.
Yeah, like you can kind of tell looking at where the sun is and how dark it is in places. Like that they leave when other teams are checking in.
So
I
like the fact that they didn't get bunched up and that there is some separation here, but then it also leads to some things like this episode where you pretty much knew who was going home from the beginning. So the route info, who wants to release some birds here? Like, just grab the cage.
Route info, I know.
Grab the cage, release birds.
I mean, I get the symbolism of it.
But it wasn't even like these white, pretty birds. It was just random, like, sparrow birds, just... I don't know, pointless task. I didn't really see the point.
Yeah, it was right next to where they got the clue, too.
They didn't have to go search for
anything. I guess it was kind of like
anything.
one of those blessing things, like how we got the dots in the blessing in India.
I would have rather that than have them, you just show them undoing things and dropping the cage.
I know, I'd rather have what we had, but I'm saying it's symbolic for where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah, not impressive for me. Roadblock, who feels like a tool? This would have been. I think you would have been beasted.
Yeah.
I think you would have beasted this challenge because you're good at following directions, even when they're not in English. You're still good at that,
I'm good
and you're good with tools.
You're
good with tools. I think you would have beasted this one.
I feel like you would have. I feel like I would have told you to do it though. I don't know. Maybe.
You would have definitely done better than me on this task.
You think?
You're better. You're better with the tools and following directions. You're better at attention to detail. You're better at a lot of things, babe. We're a great team.
Just wanted to hear you say.
I'm not best at everything, but just a lot of things. Like things that I know I'm better at, I know I'm better at. That's all. I give you credit where credit's due. I always say you were the green team's MVP. All right, so the task is to put a scooter back together using directions that are in Vietnamese. Plus, you got this model that you can look at, and we find out that Joel is a mechanic. So he naturally nailed it. It wasn't one of those where you say, hey, I'm a mechanic, and then you get a mechanic task and you ruin it. And no, that didn't happen here. No foreshadowing. Joel gets through, beats it on his first try. Emmett used to ride a bike like a motorcycle as a kid. He's taking things apart and putting things back together, and he does a great job. And I guess everybody does a decent job with this task. Nobody really has too many issues with it. Which leads us to the Bon Appetit. Head to a soy restaurant for delicacies. Like,
this is where.
Are you ready for some delicacies?
This is where I would have put my feet in and drug my feet.
So the delicacies are fried crickets, centipedes, worms, a nice fried bat, and then for dessert, and then for dessert. You got a nice live coconut one. This was the task Diana had been dreading.
I would have been like Ashley.
dreading. You would have been like Ann.
I would have been like Ashley and Ann mixed. Actually, I might surprise myself and just be like, we just got to do this. I'm not even going to say.
This is the only thing I would possibly worry about for you, but I know you'd beast through it. I know you would. Especially if you've seen somebody else do it.
Yeah, especially if somebody's right next to you, then I kind of feel like you grow a pair and you man up and do it. And
I'd be so proud of you because I know this would be the worst challenge for you to do.
God.
I would not. That bat, it freaks me out. You could see his teeth. Oh my God, that was.
You would have. You know that you would have.
I would have had to, but that's not something I look forward to.
And I would have probably tried to do a lot of the little things.
Little mealworms.
Yeah. Oh my God, no.
Just think of him like.
I'm just okay. If people could have watched us, or watched me watching that episode, I was like, nope. Every
time she'd see like a leg or some
I would
pus.
just say, nope.
So Ashley's really dramatic. Kelly and Kate find this challenge and they're like, piece of cake, no problem. We eat all types of stuff. Like they're right into the whole stereotype of they don't care. They jumped right into it. They're like, we eat all types of stuff. And they beasted this challenge. Amy is
Sorry, Angelica says, the worms don't freak me out. I just hate coconut.
I hate coconut too, but I'd eat a lot of coconut before I ate a coconut worm. Amy's a vegetarian. She's an animal lover. She can't do it, so Mom's going to have to suck it up and eat everything.
She did all of it.
But Mom beasted pretty much all of it, and then it came to the task where she had to eat the grub.
You would have eaten the plate, and I would have just had
to eat the grub at the end.
I would have done that, and that's it.
And I like Ann's reaction. Oh my God, I can't do it!
That would be me. That's what
and then she did it. She beasted through it.
And then I would have said what Ashley said. Just thinking of all that inside me right now, like all those.
Oh, that would have definitely made you girl.
Oh my God!
Stop it. The detour, flip flop or V pop. This is one that really like. Okay. So which one would we have done? Flip flop. It's just to go to the Glow rooftop bar and learn the flair bartending routine and then make a drink. Seems easy enough. V-Pop, Kingdom Karaoke Bar. Use a phonetic guide to learn a Vietnamese song that will be written on the screen for you and also have some English words.
I would do karaoke in this.
Yes, Impossible Solo.
Although I've always wanted to like bartend, I think karaoke I would have thought is like easier. Like
I would have wanted to do karaoke because it's like
really?
Entertainment.
Yeah.
And it was much easier than the French rap.
Oh, I think so too. The verses were like 2 lines.
And it was written out phonetically.
It was already written out phonetically for them. Like we had to do that ourselves, and then they tried to say you couldn't have your notes with you, but I'm sorry, I'm not memorizing this. Just trying to say this.
And there was a karaoke bar, so it was written on screen for them, and the timing was written on the screen for them too. And the judging, you didn't hear all those words. Bong bong body, yeah. And then they were like, they just went over.
The environment, like the rap was tough because
they
got
all
like
just gonna cipher around
and
you.
And 2, I don't have good vibes, so I would have been better at like. A pop song. Pop song. I would have been able to do okay.
So the judging, I think, was a lot easier on that. And let's go over to so Jillian and Emmett get there. They don't even try it, and they say we can't do it, and then they switch. It's just a bad, like every task people are going to and switch.
Oh, okay.
All right, Kelly and Kate, they go there. They're excited. They're right into the whole like, hey, we are Asian. We love karaoke. We're all about it. They go in, beast it, change it to Chinese characters. Easy task for them. Nail it on their first try. Frankie and Amy are all about the vibes. They got the whole dancing and stuff down, but the words are off. So it takes them 3 tries, but they do a really good job.
Rita and Yvette do it in 2.
2 tries. They got the nice vibes going, and they kind of,
they need more vibes.
They played with a little wordplay, got it on the second try. Julie and Lowell, again with the puns. They nailed it on their first try, but every leg he's dropping puns now.
How does this pun this one?
I try not to like pay attention because it irks me a little bit. All right, and now we go to Flip Flop. This rooftop bar. Do you think it was as hard as they made it seem?
The rooftop?
The bartending. So Joel and Ashley, they took them 59 tries. Steph and Kristen took them 25 tries. Jillian and Emmett took them 63 tries. Ann and Tanya took 30 tries.
I don't know if it's more like the little things that is why they had to keep doing it. Like it didn't go in they didn't catch it right. They dropped something.
That makes
Not
sense.
that it was difficult, but it was like the two of you had to kind of do it at the same time. So
and it didn't even really have to be in sync because there was like shaking while the other one was like trying to get the top off. As long as you were relatively close together, like the judging didn't seem that difficult. I think people tend to give up. And again, if you're ever going to be on the race, never give up and say quit, especially on a judging task. Let the judge tell you did it wrong. Don't tell the judge you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Always finish, and then let the judge say you did it wrong. Always finish. And when you go to a task like that, like Jillian and Emmett would have stayed at the other task. They
would have gotten it quicker.
So much more.
Turquoise Star said that she was surprised Ann and Tanya didn't try singing because Ann sings opera.
Yeah,
I wonder why. Maybe it was closer, and maybe it was a matter of distance.
So Jillian and Emmett tried the thing 59 times before Ann and Tanya even showed up. So Ann and Tanya were so far behind that when they finally got there, Jillian and Emmett got on a 63rd try. So they tried it 4 times after Ann and Tanya got there. So there was no way for Ann and Tanya to pass them. And takes us to the pit stop, which is City Hall. Kelly and Kate surprise everybody beasting through this challenge.
They translated it to
Chinese. And
so they could learn the words, but weren't the words in English?
But for them, it's easier to learn than English.
I guess.
So instead of translating to English like we would, they translate to Chinese.
See what
so the words could be similar. That's my dog pulling on them.
Yeah.
So I got mad props. This is their leg.
They got it first try?
They got it on the first try. They did the scooter task. They did really well, which is something that they should have struggled at. So good for them. Really, really good leg for Kelly and Kate. They won for this side. Yeah. They won a trip to Los Angeles 5 nights where they could do lots of shopping. And I think this is the glory days for them. I don't see them hanging at the top too much longer. But as long as teams keep quitting and taking penalties and doing stuff like that, I guess anything is possible. Steph and Kristen, another solid leg in second place. They got to the finish line and they had to give their express pass away this leg. And they chose to give it to Frankie and Amy. Frankie and Amy run a race similar to them is what they said. And they bonded with Frankie and Amy, 2 girl teams. So they gave it to Frankie and Amy. But the funny thing is they had to give it to Frankie and Amy right in front of Joel and Ashley. So it's not a secret now. There could be some drama stirred up with Joel and Ashley in the next leg. And I think Ashley, being a pageant girl, knows all about some drama. Because there's got to be some drama behind the scenes in those pageants. Surprising, Rita and Yvette, they finished in 3rd place. Again, that karaoke challenge is making all the difference. Followed by Frankie and Amy. Joel and Ashley, Julie and Lowell finished in 6th. And the pun was, we're 6th, still in the mix. Like, it's going to be every time there's going to be something. Then Jillian.
Every time he's going to bust a rhyme with a pun. Is that me? Mm-hmm. No, that's you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, somebody's texting. FaceTime and whatever. So Jillian and Emmett are almost eliminated, but Ann and Tanya are so far back that they're gone. And this was the leg that Jillian and Emmett could have really gone home. They were struggling really tough. They switched tasks. And they're headed in the wrong direction, but they're a team that could win any leg and go home at any leg. So what did you think overall on this episode of The Amazing Race?
I liked it because I like watching other people eat gross foods.
Yes, gross food tasks people like.
Yeah, so for me it was just enjoyable. The other 2 tasks, like the detour, what was the detour again?
There was a roadblock of the scooter, putting the scooter together.
Yeah, not very
Not
exciting.
fun to watch.
Really, the most exciting part was the food thing. I'm watching them eat gross foods.
And then the detour was Flip Flop and V-Pop, which is, entertaining. It's 2 good tasks, but there wasn't a lot of drama with the 2 tasks because they were so uneven. It seemed like anybody that was doing the V-Pop was going to finish before anybody finishing at the Flip Flop. So that's kind of what we saw with that. Who do you want to put in check in this episode?
Probably Jillian and Emmett. Jillian. For something she said. You never listen to me.
So Jillian and Emmett are constantly going to be the ones getting
No, just Jillian.
Oh, Jillian gets put in check.
Yeah.
Constantly. Putting in check. And the super fan move of this episode is,
Sorry. Go ahead. Do that, and somebody has a good question.
is going to go to Kelly and Kate, because I don't think they're ever going to get another opportunity to earn it. And they beasted it. They had a good time with the eating test. They didn't get all crazy.
It was a leg made for them.
The karaoke,
Actually,
they went and they did what they're supposed to do. They
2 legs made for them.
Yeah. So.
All right. So Angelica asked if we were in Joel and Ashley's position, what would we do? Tell everyone or keep it to ourselves about the Express Pass that they actually did have it and they were lying.
All right. So what do we have to gain by telling people? We can earn people's trust. What do we have to gain by holding it? We can earn what? 1 team, maybe
That's
2
what I was
teams
thinking.
trust, but
I'm
those
like,
teams
it doesn't earn anything. For
those
us.
teams are already
ahead of you, and they could U-turn you if you
and they have
blow
the
up their
Express
spot.
Pass to get ahead of you. So I would go and probably tell the other teams, like, listen, 2 Express Passes are out there, and I could tell you who has them for a protein bar. No. So
That's what he tried to do.
So yeah, definitely, I would tell the other teams for sure. So Ann and Tanya are eliminated from the Amazing Race.
I'm glad that they knew that they were in last place, and they still busted it the entire episode, the entire leg. They never gave up. They even had hope when they got to the bartending thing and had seen the other 2 teams there. So
yes.
I think they should get a super fan. I'm going to give them the seal clap from James Earl.
Oh, you're stealing a James Earl seal clap.
Just because they deserve something. They really worked hard. They never gave up. And
one of my teams, my 3rd pick, Ann and Tanya, eliminated from the Amazing Race.
Cooper, come here.
So next week on the Amazing Race, we're heading back to British Columbia, where we're dealing with some ancient tribe stuff. We're getting in some log jam, bumper car type of stuff. We got some drama going on. Now, I wonder if Joel and Ashley, being of the First Nation, if that's going to help them next week with these tasks.
I think so. Especially like they showed a preview for the stories.
Yes. So we'll see how that plays out next week on the Races Recap, where we will be back full force with James Earl, who's a doctor, so I can never be upset with him when his job tells him to come in. If you are not following me on Snapchat, you have issues and you need to call your therapist immediately. No, the Classic One Media account on Snapchat, it's at Classic One Media. Every morning I host a show called The Catch-Up Show. It's 5 pop culture stories in under like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Get you going. And then our personal account is at Justin Classic One, where you can see behind the scenes stuff with Diana and Cooper and our lives. And 99 days till we get married, so there's a lot of that stuff happening on the behind the scenes. We got 3 trips before then that we're going to be taking. We're going to be auctioning stuff off on eBay for a charity that we are raising money for, Give Kids the World. We're doing an event down in Florida. We're going to be auctioning off some stuff that we've worn on the show, autograph stuff, as well as Skype calls. So please be on the lookout for that. So if you're not on Snapchat yet, you really need to get on there. I don't know what you're doing. Anybody playing Pokemon Go, contact me and let me know who's the best Pokemon Go trainer. At the time, I think I'm like a level 11 or something like that. I'm not really high. Okay. We appreciate each and every one of you giving us your time. If you want a thumbs up, like, subscribe. What? Pokemon Go.
See ya.
Level 12, almost level 13. Look at that. Going to be level 13.
All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Bye.
Bye. We miss James Earl.
We do.